Good morning. August the 30th. I'm just passing through this part of the woods. This was my old camp. I actually had more blinds. These are what I call, I put up these walls of branches and pine boughs and whatever. That's where I had my camp in 2021. Anyways, it's my morning walk of gratitude. I had a decent night's sleep. I hope it doesn't rain right now. We need rain, but we've been having rain for a while and I want to enjoy the morning and get some fresh air. And it's fresh, it's nice. Anyways, on my morning walk of gratitude, what do I want to focus on today? Well, outside of the gratitude, I want to think about what I've been hearing, a little bit of talk about, and that is that we are going to be perhaps, or at least we're starting to talk about, rolling out similar restrictions as we saw 2 and 3 years ago. And I'm hearing that there is a couple of new so-called varieties of what caused the problems that we had a couple of years ago in different countries. And that's what I've been hearing. And I've been hearing that the World Economic Forum is starting to talk about restrictions, and some of the other people are starting to talk about pushing the stingy thingy, health passports, also some kind of a digital currency that you get from the government during these restrictions. And because it's controlled by the government and it's digital, they can force you to comply with the restrictions by shutting your digital currency off. You can they turn it on when you comply, they shut it off when you don't. They can, anyways, I haven't heard about it like happening like immediate. I'm just hearing about it in the wings by a few groups out there. And I know that the World Economic Forum, which is a pretty dangerous group of people, seemingly anyways, from my point of view, they're unelected, but yet they have so much power. They almost seem to be something from right out of a James Bond movie or something. It just seems so creepy, and it almost seems like the studio that they, like wherever it is that they have their little meetings and stuff that they film, and they got the YouTube channel, the World Economic Forum. And when they, start talking this stuff about restrictions and digital currency and being able to turn it on or off depending on whether you comply or not, wow, they seem almost like it's a joke because it looks so James Bond-esque, which seems to even add to the kind of creepiness of it. And then you got the weird Hollywood people and the entertainers, and everybody is just so conquered or so like taken over by some strange body snatcher kind of stuff. Like they're all involved in some sort of Epson Island kind of blackmail thing. Like they sell something of themselves for the fame, and if once they get the fame, they seem to have to comply with some sort of MK Mind Ultra weird demonic stuff. And they're all plugged into this thing, and they got to say the right things, and if they don't, then they get canceled quickly. And it's amazing how much power this cancel stuff has, and it's amazing at how much I have to watch what words I use right now, because I don't want to have any problems with my little teeny tiny itsy bitsy channel, you know, by the people, by the platform that I'm using. You know, I don't want to have a sort of just all of a sudden I have no voice anymore. So I mean, I know that to some level we're conquered already just because of that. Alice Cooper said some pretty sensible stuff not too long ago, and although there is a bit of a backlash against all of this stuff, a sort of uprise of sensible minded conservative types, I don't think that they outnumber the crazies. I think the crazies are outnumbering the sensible-minded conservative types that do have a little bit of an uprise movement going on. Well, anyways, so I think, I mean, I have considered this more than once. Like, this is either one or two things happening. This is, you know, in short, it's either a new cycle of human existence, and it's nothing but, it's just all natural. It's just something that happens in the evolution of life on a planet that's simply contingent and not managed by anything. It's just simple. It's all evolution, and it's all in a vacuum with nothing that cares about you out there. Or it is the footsteps of the Mashiach, or Messiah in Greek, and we are, I guess, gradually or maybe speedily heading toward the final conflict between evil and good. And it is all divine, and it is all by design. I believe that every single thing that has been happening for the last 2 years, and before, I personally think even the free love hippie movement, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all of this acid dropping and Haight-Ashbury stuff in the past, which seems so cool, I believe that that was a CIA psy-op. I really believe it. And I'm not saying that everybody who wrote great music and was part of that movement in the 60s was consciously aware of it, but I believe that there were artists who were fed an agenda and even had songs and notes and everything that were written by MK Mind Ultra kind of people, World Economic Forum type people, Illuminati, deep state shadow government type people, and I really believe it. Anyways, I could go deeper, but this, I believe, including the hippie movement, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Beatles, I mean, all the big stuff that went on back then, Haight-Ashbury, acid, everything, and what it seemed to be like such a breaking away from the government and all of the old customs that were too rusty and stiff and were unfair, and I don't know, I don't think it was so liberating as everybody thinks. There was a heyday or a time where free love, hippiness, the Beatles, concerts, Woodstock and all that stuff, acid dropping and pot, was liberating, but it's just sort of like how Wall Street and greed was liberating for a while, and now we're paying the price. I believe all of this stuff, including what we saw 2 years, 3 years ago, has been a big beta test for the final conflict. I think that something is building. I don't believe that what we saw was just plain nature without any human, evil like dark force design behind it. And I believe that that design was a beta test for the full onslaught, or the full, restrictions and the full forced stingy thingies and health ports and digital currency, which can be turned on or turned off based or depending on your compliance. I even believe Walmart stores can be shut down, which they are starting to shut them down. They're all armored up. You can't go in or out except for one way. They have all the surveillance they need. All they have to do is get rid of the food out of there, and then they could have those as re-education camps. Look at the imposing, almost gothic walls of these Walmart stores. They don't have to take you to the normal court system if it comes down to that. They could bypass that through the certain martial law kind of things, and they can just put you in these re-education camps, and they could turn those Walmart stores into that in a second. I mean, who knows if it's going to really get that bad that fast, but I'm telling you, it has the potential. The world has the potential to be turned on its head that quick. How many millions have come over illegally who could be bringing strange things, biological weapons? They could be carrying biological weapons in order to make this thing happen. Wow, man. There is something in the wings. I mean, even the strange alphabet community kind of stuff, it's almost like trans 2.0. It's something crazy. Either A, it is just a cycle of human existence, and we're just all screwed, because you can't really survive for too long by prepping alone. So that is possible. I don't know. That's A. Or B, it really is spirit source energy. Everything is truly managed by, our creator. And this is not happening in a vacuum. This is happening under the close observation of God. Let's just hope so. At least I do. I hope that. So, the best thing I can do, I think the best superpower to have is a godly humility. Not just, humility by psychoanalysis and, taking 10 breaths when times get hard and focusing your thoughts towards something positive. I don't mean that kind of humility. I literally mean a holy humility that comes from a relationship to your creator, to spirit source energy, to God. I believe that all this stuff is God. We just have to peel back the layer to see it. It is hard to see God, and it's built into the system that way. So I'm going with B, and I believe that it is all from God, and it's all leading to the final conflict between evil and good. And I know the outcome. I know it. I don't think this is just, transhuman 2.0, another cycle of existence in a contingent vacuum that we call the universe. I believe there's meaning behind it. I think there's purpose behind it. I think there's going to be a final conflict, and it is going to peel back the layers of all this stuff, and we will all, if we hang on, if we stay with what's right and what's good, I believe, and we find humility. That's the way to fight it, humility. And I really believe we will be glad we were here. Anyways, the only thing this stuff is going to really ultimately serve, if God is involved, is to enhance our victory. With that said, no road over and out for now.